Hello, friends. Starting today, I'm going to be doing a few sessions, few episodes on leadership. And the first topic that I've picked today is about servant leadership. Servant leadership is a leadership style which is fairly new by definition or in terminology. Okay. And it's a leadership style that considers the needs and the well being of the others. That means your team, your stakeholders, everybody else. Okay. Over and above your own requirements, your own needs, and your own ambitions. Servant leaders empower their team, give them responsibility, delegate to them, giving them the responsibility and the authority that is required, train and coach them so that they can achieve what you are asking them to do. They create a collaborative environment across the organization where every team member and the organization if every team member grows, the organization is going to grow, achieves outstanding success. And naturally, I don't have to say it or spell it out to you, but such servant leaders are loved and admired all over the world. Now, to understand a little better of what we mean by servant leaders, let us first look at what we traditionally define or identify leaders by. Traditional leaders, by and large, have viewed their position as one where their job is to achieve goals of the organization, nothing more, nothing less. They use power and control to drive the team and to get results. They measure success by the output achieved. These are traits of traditional leaders. They generally speak more than they listen, contrary to everything I've been telling you today. And they believe that they are the center of organization. And everything that happens within that organization is all about them. Okay? Which is, we'll come to it, but which is not true. They operate and control in a top-down leadership this thing. That means they are the leader. They first want to control the management. Then they want to control the employees. Then they want to control the vendors. And then they want to control the customers. So this is what traditional leadership has always looked like. But when you come to servant leadership, they reverse the process and the role and the mindset of the traditional leader. They do not control, they support. Same, they support the management, they support the stakeholders, they support the employees, they support the vendors, they support the customers. It's all the same, but it's not control anymore. It's about supporting them. They view their role as an opportunity to serve others, not to dominate and control others. They share power and they jointly control and achieve results, not the people. They control the progress and they achieve results and drive performance through engagement, not via diktats. They measure the success by the growth of the team and the organization and not just by the output. And they understand and accept very well that everything is not about them. Okay? What are the key characteristics of servant leaders? Sorry, I'm a little distracted because I'm not at not at work today. I'm in fact sitting in a place a little distance away from Bombay. I'd come here for work, and I'm recording this in my hotel room right now. The key characteristics of servant leaders are that they empower teams. They support them to get what they're and to get what they need to get, and that helps those team members to achieve their full potential. They are accountable, not just themselves. They hold themselves accountable, and they also hold every team member accountable for whatever actions either they themselves or the team takes. They are authentic. To use my commonly used phrase, walk the talk. They are genuine and true in all their words and actions. They are appreciative. They give due credit when anyone, any team member does something well, and they celebrate small wins. And they make sure that the team also celebrates and appreciates those small wins. They are humble. Humility is one of their biggest assets. They are modest about themselves and their achievements. They don't go on bragging about it. They are courageous. Very important factor, because if you're not going to innovate, you're not going to take risks, and then your organization cannot grow. So they're willing to take risks, they're willing to innovate, they are willing to accept failure as an outcome sometimes. Okay, and they overcome their fears and apprehensions. They're open-minded. They listen to the perspective and the ideas of all their teammates, stakeholders, and everybody they work with. They respect those perspectives and ideas. Then they evaluate them and then take a call. They just don't throw it away because it is not their idea. They're service-oriented. That's what the term means, servant. So they're service-oriented, and they work for the overall good of the entire organization, every single member of the organization, and also the society at large. The key characteristics of servant leaders, to continue on some more, is that they are empathetic. They listen, they understand, and then they address the challenges of team members, even personal challenges, not just work challenges. And this is what makes them one of the best leaders. They are very ethical. They live to the company values. They live to the company culture. And every decision and action that they perform is based on those values and that culture. They're great at building teamwork. And not only teams, they build communities. Maybe it's a customer community, maybe it's a vendor community, but they build communities. So these characteristics and traits are what will make one a stronger leader, one who is courageous, one who is thoughtful, one who is empathetic, and which is the need of today's business landscape. Business is not the same as it was 10, 15 years back. Traditional leadership model has far less chances of succeeding in today's business landscape. It did very well at 20 years back, 30 years back, but today it cannot. It's going to be a failure. So what is the real job of leaders today? They need to understand and treat their employees as individuals and not just as workers who deliver and give some output. They lead each individual and the team right up to the top as a group. And they don't just run ahead of them, leaving the team behind. They will be there to hold them and bring them up. They peek into the lives of employees. As we said a little time back, they also help out in the case of personal this thing. Okay, so they peek into the lives of employees within reason. They can't. They okay, come on. Okay, so they peek into the lives of employees within reason and address their stress points and not just work as fellow humans. They help them, they treat them as fellow human beings, and then they do what is necessary. They show their appreciation and celebrate small wins, as we just talked about. They help team members to overcome hurdles by coaching and training, and help them to develop the skills required so that that person can do his job as best as possible. They empower people and they do not command them. This is a very important change between traditional leadership and servant leadership. They plan in detail, keeping the team skill and capabilities in mind, and make provisions in the planning for training as may be required in case they find some deficiency within a team member. But while planning, they make sure that they build checks and balances and they provide for setbacks. They are going to be there. There is nothing like a smooth flow. There will be some hiccup or the other. They walk with the team. They build trust and they give them the confidence that is required and let them know that that leader has every single team member's back. They listen attentively, not to respond, but to understand. They speak thoughtfully and clearly. They make people feel purposeful. They motivate everybody and they energize them so that the organization gets the best. To empower teams, which is what we're talking of as one of the major contributions to becoming a servant leader. Provide clear rules, no ambiguity, provide boundary structures, and define the responsibilities of everybody very clearly. Establish clear roles and the authority that goes with the roles, because otherwise that person doesn't know how to perform. Do not be a complicit manager. When you empower your team and delegate, they will face hiccups. At that time, don't do the job for them. Teach them how to do that job so that they do it themselves in the future. They address culture and skill issues proactively. If they need training, training. If somebody is breaking the culture, bring him to speed. Point out and tell him that, boss, this is what you should do and not this. And they continuously seek feedback so that they can improve themselves also. And to communicate clearly, define and clarify short and long-term goals with every team member so that there is no ambiguity about it. Listen, understand, think, and then react with all the stakeholders, not just your team members and employees. Be proactive in communication, but don't make it too often. People get tired. Communicate as frequently as necessary, but as I said, not too often. Be candid. There's no point in beating around the bush. And clarify clearly whatever you want to communicate. Use the right words, use the right language. Do not leave things hazy because that will only confuse that person. Finally, to summarize, servant leaders move from executives to visionaries. They have a clear purpose for the organization. And in that vision and purpose, they make sure that every single stakeholder is taken into consideration. They move from being a planner to an architect. They are constantly innovating accepting that there may be failures sometimes, to improve things, processes, improve people, improve everything that they are doing, improve product, to take the business and the organization to the next level. From being a director, they become a catalyst. They don't now command everybody, but they create a collaborative environment and empower teams. From being a controller, traditionally, they now move on to become coaches. They will help the team to constantly improve and up their skills through learning and change of mindset. They also work on that, which is very important. So, having said all of these things, now we know very clearly that to become a servant leader, the thing that you need to really do, to put it in the smallest three words, is from being a boss, go on to being a human. Become the kind of leader that the world and the business landscape needs today. And this will help you to lead your team in your organization to monumental success that you are not going to find very easily. Let's stop today with this. I think we've talked enough about servant leadership. We'll look at some other topic for the next episode. Have a great evening, and thank you all.